You have got two pairs of glasses sitting in front of you right now. One came from a bright optician shop and cost $300. The other one showed up in a small padded envelope and cost $3. You look at them and you assume the expensive pair has to be better, with sharper lenses and real craftsmanship, something the cheap ones simply cannot match. That assumption is the entire reason you paid 100 times more. And almost everyone alive makes it. You are wrong. There is a real chance both of those lenses were ground in the same Chinese city, in the same industrial park, by the same workers standing at the same polishing machines. The $3 pair and the $300 pair coming off lines a few feet apart. The only thing that genuinely changed between them was the logo stamped on the temple arm and the number on the price tag. Because one single company controls almost the entire eyewear industry on Earth. A $165 billion empire built quietly over 60 years that owns the brands you think are rivals, the stores that sell them, the lenses inside them, and even the insurance plan that supposedly saves you money. I am Zhang Wei, and I dig into the monopolies hiding in plain sight. The ones sitting on your face and in your pocket that you never think to question. And this one is the most complete monopoly in modern consumer goods. The company is called Essilor-Luxottica. The man who built it grew up in an orphanage, and the city quietly pulling the whole thing apart has fewer than 1 million people and a name most of the world has never once heard spoken out loud. To understand how deep this goes, you have to start in a mountain town in northern Italy, in a workshop that made metal parts nobody ever noticed. Leonardo Del Vecchio was born in Milan in 1935. His father died before he was born, and his mother, with 5 children and no money, placed him in an orphanage as a small boy, where he grew up without ever being adopted. At 14, he went to work for a tool and die maker, learning to shape tiny metal components by hand, learning precision the hard way. In 1961, he opened his own tiny workshop in a town called Agordo, tucked into the Italian Dolomites with mountains on every side and almost nothing else around it. He did not make glasses. He made the little metal parts other companies bolted onto their frames: hinges, temples, nose bridges. But Del Vecchio understood something the companies buying his parts did not. The real money in eyewear was not in any single step. It was in owning every step at once. So he started climbing. First, he made the parts. Then he made the whole frame. Then he made frames under his own name instead of somebody else's. And then, one calculated purchase at a time, he started buying up the names themselves. He listed his company, Luxottica, on the New York Stock Exchange in 1990 because America was the largest eyewear market on the planet, and that is where the capital was. Then he went shopping with it. He bought Vogue Eyewear. He seized LensCrafters through a hostile takeover of a company 5 times Luxottica's size, just to get his hands on its optical stores. He bought Sunglass Hut, which handed him thousands of retail locations around the world in one move. And in 1999, he paid over $600 million for a struggling American brand called Ray-Ban. Here is where it gets clever. When Del Vecchio bought Ray-Ban, a pair of Wayfarers cost about $30. You could grab a pair off a spinning rack at a gas station next to the sunscreen. They were popular, but they were cheap. So he pulled them out of the gas stations entirely. He raised the price. He placed them in Sunglass Hut, which he owned, and in LensCrafters, which he also owned, and he rebranded them as a premium status object. Within a few years, the exact same sunglasses that once cost $30 were selling for over $150. The lens had not changed, the frame had not changed, and the hinge was identical. The only thing that changed was who owned the shelf and what they decided to write on the tag. But the moment that revealed exactly how ruthless this machine could be was Oakley. And this part plays out like a scene from a mob film. In the early 2000s, Oakley was thriving. Athletes worshiped the brand. Its lenses were genuinely innovative, and it sold enormous volume inside Sunglass Hut, which Luxottica owned. Then Oakley pushed back in a dispute over pricing, and Luxottica responded not by competing, but by pulling Oakley's products off the Sunglass Hut shelves. Overnight, Oakley lost access to the biggest specialty sunglasses retailer in the world. Its stock price collapsed, cut roughly in half. A healthy company suddenly looked like it was drowning, and not because anyone stopped wanting its products. Then Luxottica bought it. In 2007, with the stock still crushed from losing the very shelf space Luxottica controlled, the company acquired Oakley for about $2 billion. The store starved the brand, crashed its value, and then bought the wreckage at a discount. And the message to every other eyewear brand on earth was unmistakable. Challenge us on price, and we will remove you from our stores, watch you fall, and buy you for less than you were worth. After Oakley, nobody challenged them. If you are learning something here, take a second to subscribe, because I break down a hidden empire like this one every single week. From there, the licensing deals came flooding in. Prada, Chanel, Versace, Armani, Burberry, Ralph Lauren, Michael Kors, Dolce & Gabbana. The arrangement was always identical. The fashion house lends its name and cashes a royalty check. Luxottica designs the frame, manufactures it, distributes it, and sells it inside its own stores. That $400 designer frame rolls off the very same production line as the $80 pair 2 shelves down. The plastic is the same. The metal is the same. You are paying for the 4 letters engraved on the side. Then, in 2018, Luxottica merged with Essilor, the largest lens maker in the world. Now the empire owned the frames and the lenses. And it owned one final piece that turns this from a business into a trap. Essilor-Luxottica also owns one of the largest vision insurance providers in the United States, covering tens of millions of members. So when you walk into an eye exam and they tell you your insurance covers frames up to a certain amount at participating retailers, stop and follow the money. The company writing your insurance benefit, the store you are steered toward, and the factory that made the frame are all one entity. They set the price, they sell you the product, and they reimburse themselves through the plan you pay premiums into. At no point in that entire journey are you standing in a competitive market. Every door in the hallway leads back to the same room. Try to picture this anywhere else. Imagine Ford owned every dealership in the country, built every car on the road, ran one of the biggest auto insurers, and faced no rival brand on any lot. That would be a national scandal. In eyewear, most people have no idea it is even happening. By the time Leonardo Del Vecchio died in 2022, the orphan from Milan was one of the richest men in Italy, and his machine kept running without him. And it would have run forever, untouched, if not for a place called Danyang. Danyang is a modest city in Jiangsu province, a short, high-speed train ride from Shanghai with a population under 1 million. You could stare at it on a map and find no reason to look twice. Farmland, light industry, quiet streets. But Danyang has a nickname that stops sounding like bragging the moment you hear the numbers. They call it the glasses capital of the world. This one city produces hundreds of millions of spectacle lenses every single year. Roughly half of every lens made on the entire planet. Half. For every brand, in every country, a stunning share of them come out of this one place. It started decades ago when skilled lens workers relocated from the big cities and taught their neighbors to grind glass in small workshops. Those workshops multiplied. Then the local government poured investment into industrial parks, pulled in advanced technology, and pushed factories to chase real quality instead of just low prices. Chinese engineers eventually built domestic coating machines that broke the foreign monopoly on the equipment that applies anti-reflective and scratch-resistant layers. Today, Danyang does not make cheap, inferior lenses. Independent testing has shown its lenses meeting or beating the optical specs of brands charging 10 to 20 times more. Many optometrists cannot tell the difference without reading the box. And this is the part the empire never wanted understood. A modern lens is not really glass. It is a stack of microscopic coatings, layer over layer, that block ultraviolet light, cut glare, resist scratches, and filter the blue light off your screen. For decades, the machines that applied those coatings came only from Germany and Japan, and that equipment was the real moat. Once Chinese factories built their own coating machines, the last technical excuse for the markup quietly disappeared. And here is the quiet truth. Some of those same factories grind the lenses that end up inside expensive Western frames anyway. Different box, same lens. A company called Zenni understood this early. Buy directly from these Chinese manufacturers, put the glasses on a website, and skip the stores, the licensing fees, and the entire markup machine. A full pair of prescription glasses on Zenni can start under $7. They have shipped tens of millions of pairs. And Warby Parker proved the same point from the American side when its founder was quoted $700 for a pair of glasses, realized the smartphone in his pocket had cost less, and built a company selling them for $95 instead. Neither one killed the empire, but they proved the thing it feared most. The moment people are handed a credible alternative, they switch. Online eyewear sales have been climbing at double-digit rates for years, and every pair sold direct is one more pair that never touches the machine. EssilorLuxottica reported revenue over 26 billion euros last year. It is not collapsing tomorrow. But every monopoly that ever met the internet and Chinese manufacturing at the same time told itself the disruption would stay small. The music labels said it. The taxi companies said it. It never stays small. So go back to those two pairs of glasses in front of you, the $300 pair and the $3 one. You now know the frame costs a few dollars to make. You know one company owns the brand, the store, the lens, and your insurance plan. You know an orphan from Milan built the most complete monopoly in consumer goods, and that a city you had never heard of 10 minutes ago quietly makes half the lenses on Earth and will sell you a finished pair for the price of a coffee. You can still buy the expensive ones. They look good, and that is a real reason. But you will never again make that choice in the dark. I am Zhang Wei. If this changed how you see something sitting on your face right now, subscribe and turn on notifications because there is another hidden empire I am tearing open next week, and once you start seeing these, you cannot stop.